Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond. Broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
Back at you, Gloves Off. I'm Paul Buitron. I'm here with Claudia Ovalles from the group 2503, which is a group that helps parents in the support of custody, visitation rights, parent alienation, and so on and so forth. And they've been doing a great job. They're out of San Antonio, but they have associates in Laredo, myself and Gigi, and we're trying to. And the battle for this is harsh. And more important, it's harsh and it's very hurtful on children. And we're going to touch base with Ms. Ovalles, and we're going to listen to what's been going on in the past couple of months. Good morning. How are we doing today?
Great, thank you. Thanks again for having me.
Well, number one, I want to thank you for standing up, and I always say this because it takes some guts, okay, to face a lot of individuals, and especially talking with police, talking with DAs, talking with representatives, both senators and representatives of Texas, and the battle that you all are going through, because it is a battle. And I think this year there's a lot of bills going up there. I think there's a different movement going on now. I think people are paying attention now more so than ever. Why do you think that's happening?
I think it's because a lot of these advocates are combining their efforts. The main focus of this has always been the children. So whether it's equal shared parenting, interference, child abuse, they all intertwine because they all impact each other. So I think this year the groups have come together, and it's just very strong. The presence is very strong, and the awareness is really being pushed. And it needs to be heard.
Absolutely. Because there's a lot of people involved. When you look at this movement, there's way too many parents already saying, enough of this. And there's a lot of children standing up that grew into adults and saying, this happened to me, and I don't want it to happen to anybody else. And it's a different format. And I think it's a huge, how can I say, voter base. And I think that's the main reason a lot of politicians are looking this way. And again, a lot of politicians grew up with this as well. So, they understand where it's coming from. Let's talk about the bills that are there right now facing.
Okay. Right now there's House Bill 803, the Equal Shared Parenting Bill. That is a huge bill and has gained enormous support. So that is a huge bill for Texas. The other three, but the first two are the Interference with Child Custody, which is Senate Bill 2011 and House Bill 4240. Again, those emphasize on the interference with child custody and what change we could make for those. And then the other bill, which is a big bill to me personally, is House Bill 2153, and that's child abuse. That bill states a lot of language that highlights some of the behaviors that are involved. So that is a huge one, dear to my heart, that I recently was made aware of. So a lot of my efforts are to support all these bills because they all, again, they impact each other. So those are
absolutely. They all kind of have to go inside together as one, because there's not one side to another. Because if you see, interference with child custody. Let's say you're going to go pick up your child when the parent says you're not going to see him this weekend. Well, that first time, there might be a reason, right? Mm-hmm. Even though it's a felony, the majority of police do not do anything about it. The majority of DAs do not want to hear about it, but it's a felony here in the state of Texas. And what happens is, once that occurs, the second time is going to be a lot easier for that parent to just say, you're not going to see that child. So if you did not have parent alienation, you do have it now. And it's going to grow and it's going to spawn into that. Okay. It's not just going to be my grudge because I'm going to take them out for Easter. No, it's going to be an ongoing thing. And once they do it once, they'll do it twice and 3 times and so forth. It becomes problematic. So there's a couple of bills for that purpose. Now, once you start the alienation, that's where child abuse actually starts. And I think that, and let's explain that a little bit, because you're more in tune with that.
Right. Well, the interference involves interfering with your relationship, that bonding time that's so important. And if the visitation is not enforced, or you don't get that visitation, like you said, that parental alienation festers, it gets worse, and that relationship deteriorates. And over time, if that continues, then your attachment with your child is breaking. It's becoming more and more damaged. And for a child to not have access to you takes a toll on them, not only on the parent, but the child. Their mind is still developing, and for them not to be able to see that other parent and interact with that other parent who they had a relationship before this interference occurred. I mean, that's pretty hard for a child to go through that. And I've spoken and I've heard a lot from adult children that went through this, and the stories that they have. And I know you had someone on here recently, Lulu was on here. I've heard her story a few times, and it's dear to my heart that children are going through that. My own children go through that. And it just hurts that I can't do anything about it. And that's why these bills are so important, because this needs to stop. It really does.
No, you're absolutely correct. And it's all for the benefit of the child. And it's not happening. I understand, and I see the police rationale. Okay, they show up to a pickup of a child, right? And they call in there, and the mom calls and says, "Oh, I don't want my children to go because the other half is on drugs or what have you." Okay, she's protecting, or he's protecting the child from going to visit the other one because of this might be occurring. Okay. And the police are going to say they're going to side with that parent. I understand that. But when it becomes habitual and it's always there and it becomes problematic and they don't do anything, they themselves, this is my opinion, they themselves are the ones that are festering, and they're the ones that are watering the plant of parental alienation to continue growing. So I know there's some bills there's one that's going to allow, that came out of Laredo going that way, that's going to allow a municipality to vote on to see if they're going to give an infraction when that occurs. And I think that's a good sense, because you can see both sides. You give them a tariff, they can go see the judge, and I guarantee you that the majority of these instances, as soon as they get one ticket, I guarantee you that the next time, that child's going to be ready with a suitcase waiting for the father outside. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I guarantee you it's going to stop 90% of what's going on. But there's still that 10%, 20% that are going to say they're going to try to continue controlling. And that's what we need to stop. Let's talk about the child abuse one. Specify that.
Okay, so child abuse, let me see if I can actually go to it really quickly. The Child Abuse Bill 2153 is a very important bill, because it encompasses, again, a lot of the language that points out these behaviors. And let me just read it really briefly. It would recognize that engaging in conduct that results in a child's reluctance or refusal without legitimate justification to have a relationship with one of the child's parents is a form of child abuse. So again, that whole retainment, that lack of access, the lack of bonding with their parent like they had before, that takes a toll on the child. So this bill encompasses that, and this bill, in my opinion, is huge, and it is a very strong bill that's not just supported in Texas, but the news of this bill has passed nationally, and parents in other states, how can we get that in my state? That is huge if Texas did that for us. I mean, that's what all the responses are like. I will help you push this in Texas because this is just huge. And I do have an advocate that puts a lot of calls together with PA experts, you name it, top experts. And she talks to them and she involves parents in them. They're normally Zoom calls, and she's helping push this bill. Now she's in California, but she is pushing this bill so much because it is so huge. And then we can later push this in California. But she's gotten, just yesterday, 35 organizations support this bill. And also we have a lot of alienated adult children that will speak to the lawmakers about their experience as a child going through this. So to validate, it is child abuse. What they went through as a child, and they had no voice whatsoever, they will come forward and they will testify to the behaviors that were involved, during their childhood with the experience. So it is a huge bill.
Well, hopefully our leaders will vote the right way and vote to protect our children. And it's no longer about it's about our future, the future of our children. That's basically what we do as parents. We work why? Because we want to give a better life for our kids, right?
Absolutely.
That's basically what we parents are here. Yes, we live life and we understand everything else, but we live for our children. Try to give them a betterment, try to give them a right road for them to lead on and move forward with. And I think our leaders right now need to understand that. And listen, something's going to happen. Okay, there's so much right now, and it has awakened many of our state representatives already. So I think we're going to see a difference.
I agree. I'm very hopeful on these bills because they mean so much. And again, they're all intertwined, and we have such mass support right now, not just for one particular bill, but for all of them, that now is the time. And I will remain hopeful and see this through.
Absolutely. And I'm going to talk to parents that are going through. I'm going to address this. If you're going through problems with interference with child custody, reach out to the group, Interference with Child Custody, Penal Code 2503. You can find them on Facebook. They're out of San Antonio. If you're in Laredo, give us a call. We'll help you out. The group means well. They'll teach you how to be calm, how to be concise when you have to face the police over and over and over again, and how to deal with it. And I think that's the problem, because a lot of parents are so frustrated, they start yelling at the police officer and it becomes something else. Okay, so please understand that if you're going through there, whether you're male or female, and you're going through this problem, reach out. Let's get some help, because this happens every weekend, and especially on this one, And let me tell you something, Ms. Ovalles. What I have seen, and what I've seen here in Laredo, I don't know whether I've seen the brother-in-laws, the sister-in-laws of exes interfere. That has to stop as well.
Yes.
Okay, you mean the person couldn't live together, they're separated, they're both loving parents, they both love their children. Allow that, because I've seen mother-in-laws get involved, sister-in-laws get involved, ex-brother-in-laws get involved, and it just makes the matter worse. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of family members, they will get involved, and it's, we got to set our differences aside, let the child go with the other parent to have that time. And that's it. It's for the child. That's the most important, objective of this, is getting the child access to the other parent. I did want to mention, before we forget, the proclamations that are coming up for Parental Awareness Day, April 25th. If you have not received your proclamation, you want to reach out to your rep or your mayor's office to make sure that you get it in time. I've received ours from San Antonio already, so I'm excited because it was delivered to me a lot sooner. But I make it a point to remind others that there is still time to get one done. And even if you get it after, at least it was recognized and acknowledged for 2021. Again, you just send your mayor an email. They normally have a proclamation link, and you just ask them for it. We do have the language. So you just ask them for a proclamation, and they do it, and they can recognize it at a meeting or a city council meeting or something, and, make everyone aware that this is going on and this is a problem.
Absolutely. We've done that here in Laredo. It is going forward. Several of the city councilmen are very content with it. They're all in agreement that this needs to happen. We will have, around those days, we will call you forward, because we're going to have a Zoom meeting with a lot of parents and a couple of city council. They're going to be on there. And we're just going to touch base on the problems and the issues, and let's push to stop parental alienation. And I know it's something that's never going to happen, but let's push for that stop.
Right.
Okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to thank you once more for doing what you do. You do not know how special you are here. You're a beacon of light to many, you and George and the others that are involved. And some people that are going into that rabbit hole, you guys have pulled them out. Thank you for doing that. Okay. I wish you all well. And folks out there, this is Easter. This is Good Friday.
Yes.
It is also the first Friday of the month. Allow your kids to spend time with the other parent. If it's their right to visit. Okay.
Okay.
Allow that. Let's be happy. Let's embrace hope. And again, I wish everybody the best. Thank you once more.
Thank you. And I did want to recognize, it's Red Shirt Friday. We do recognize deployed service members that are deployed. So remember everyone deployed. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I look forward to working with you again in the future. Thanks again.
We will. Thank you all. Till next time. Peace.
Okay.
Today, in America, more than 5.5 million men, women, and children train in a martial art regularly. Buitron Academy has been serving Laredo for over 30 years now. Our adult classes are geared for producing the best in you, teaching you street-ready techniques. With the arts of Savate and Kinpo, you'll learn the traditions of these sciences of combat, as passed down professor to student.
Hello everybody, my name is Senior Grandmaster Alfredo Bandalan, owner of BDP, Bandalan the Siparis. I'd like to say a few words on Grandmaster Paul Buitrón. He's a man of great integrity, a man of great knowledge of martial art. He's a master of Savate and master of Eskrima. He's a man that can help you to become what you want to be. He's a man that teaches people how to be somebody in life, how to work the world, how to be happy in this world. He's a man that I can say hold many integrity as well as in martial art. But I'd like to say this man has a radio station that's hunting all over the world, and he works with all kind of people, all walks of life. All I want to say that Paul Buitrón is a man that can help people to be somebody in life. I'd like to say aloha, thank you.
I am Grandmaster Michael Duran of Original Heroes Criminal Federation here in Vallejo, California. Professor Paul Buitrón is an accomplished martial artist who has developed an understanding that as a caretaker in our martial arts, it is his responsibility to keep the art alive and in depth. He acknowledged that it is the students that give the art life. I hold his friendship and his continuing accomplishments in the art in the most highest regard. Thank you.
Come train at the best kept secret of Laredo. Give us a call for your free evaluation at 956-401-4868 or check out our website at savate.biz. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook.